What's up everyone and welcome to the club. In today's video I'll show you how to draw better human heads by drawing Cyclops from the X-Men. For today's lesson we'll need some white paper and a pencil. I'll be drawing with this 0.7mm mechanical pencil with a 2B graphite stick. Now the first thing we want to do is block out the basic shape and proportions before we get into the details. Let's start by sketching a line coming down the center of our page. So we start from the very top of the middle. Just going to lightly work our way down towards the bottom. Let's go back to the center and draw another straight line going across from left to right. And then we're going to use these two lines to help us create a large circle along the top of our page to define the size of the skull. So from this point, we're going to step up, mark off the top of our circle, measure that distance from the center down towards the bottom. Let's do the exact same thing across this horizontal line. So measuring the distance from the center over towards the left, and then the right side. Now we're going to connect the center point of each mark with a curve to create our circle. So we'll start with the top left. And the circle doesn't have to be perfect. We just want to use this as reference, just as long as it's the right size and placement in the center of our page. You can always go back and just smooth this out. Let's add another guideline coming down the side of our circle, starting from the left and then the right. Now I'm going to add one more line going across the bottom of our circle. Now with our circle and guidelines in place, we can start blocking out the main facial features. Let's start by drawing a curve for the inside edge of the visor. We're going to start right in the middle. I'm just going to bend this out and then up toward the left, and then going up toward the same height on the right. Now let's step down and draw that same curve, going across. From the outside, it's going to round out the end of the visor. And then we're going to move up and draw another curve for the top edge. We come down in the middle and then bend that up. Let's round out the side, coming around and then back in. And then from the bottom, I'm just going to round out the bottom of the goggle. And I just want to bend that up towards a center point. Let's do the exact same thing on the right. Just bending this down and then up. From here, we're going to step down, just going to mark off the tip of the nose right about here with a straight line. And then from the center, let's add a V going up toward the left and right. From the tip of the nose, we're going to step down, mark off the edge of the mouth with a straight line going all the way across. From here, we're going to step down, draw a short line going across with the lip. Step down again and just mark off the chin. Let's go all the way out towards the outside of the mouth line. We're just going to angle the jaw. We're going to come down and then in. We're going to leave a gap in the center. And we're also going to slope the side of the head. So we're going to angle this down and then in towards the jaw. Along the side of the jaw, we're going to step in, draw another angled line for the inside edge of the mask on both sides. And now we're going to go all the way back up to the top and draw those ear covers. Let's start from the side of our circle, bend this out, and then in towards the side. Let's go back up to the top of the head, angle the neck, coming down and out. Going back up, let's slope the shoulders, coming down and out. Now that we have our rough sketch in place, let's go back and clean this up by erasing some of these guidelines. Now that we cleaned up our drawing, we're going to use this as a guide to help us layer on some more detail and refine the shapes. Now I want to go back in and just redefine the edge of the visor, just darkening that up slightly. We can also add a little bevel along the inside, so just giving a little bit of thickness along the side. So we just want to trace out that curve and work our way across the bottom. Just lightly working our way across, doesn't have to be too dark. And then we're adding some more shape to the outside. Just going to round out those top corners. Let's round out the center. And we'll add some shape to the nose, starting in the middle and working our way out. And then with the mouth, we're going to add a point in the center coming down. Then the mouth going out towards the corners. We'll add a little bit more shape to the lip. Just pulling this up towards the corner. Also clear the chin underneath. And add the hint of an upper lip. Just going to bend the mask going around the chin. Let's add some more shape to the top of the head. Add a little fold along the inside of the brow. Now we're going to go back and just clean up our drawing one final time before we add in more details. And once we're happy with all our proportions, we're going to go ahead and start adding some contrast to our lines. I'm just going to thicken up these lines. Also adding a little bit more weight along the bottom edge near the shadows, just to give it a bit of weight. Now I'm just going to add a shadow along the side of the visor and just fade that in towards a highlight on both sides. And we're going to lightly shade in that inside bevel going around the visor. And then the nose is going to cast a shadow coming down towards the mouth. So we're just going to angle this down and just lightly shade the inside, going a little bit darker along the top. darken up the side of the mask at the top and just fade that down. And then the head's going to cast a shadow across the neck. So we're going to start on the left side. I'm just going to bend this across towards the right. And then pull that up. And again, just roughly shading that in. And again, we want to go a little bit darker along the top. Now with those ear covers, just going to set the highlight coming in, darken that up, and then fade that towards the head, just to cast a little bit of a reflection on the side. And we're going to pull that shadow line along the inside, casting a bit of a highlight along the outside edge. We come down in the middle, pull that up towards the right, and then back down the side. Let's darken up the outside, and then fade that in towards the center of the forehead. Now I want to add some reflectivity to the mask. So we're going to start from the outside, just tracing the mask along the inside, creating a little bit of a highlight. Just going to pull that in. Now from the top, we're just going to add a wobbly line coming all the way down, continue across the bottom. Just add a couple reflection lines coming down at an angle on the top and bottom. Make sure these are straight. Add another wave across the center. And just working our way across towards the right. Just darken the outside of that reflection, and we're just going to fade that in. Now as we get closer to the end, we're just going to touch up our reflections and shadows, and always be sure to sign our artwork, and that's pretty much it. There's a portrait illustration of Cyclops from the X-Men. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. If you did, please make sure you subscribe because I'm posting new lessons every single day. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon.